I like to start from the flyer because people were sending me texts that, what's the meaning of your flyer? So this is what we did. Crass journalism has been decorated as fact-checking, has drawn out the supremacist pen. The master, Adom-Otchere, has complained. But why is Professor Kaikari supporting this kind of horrendous journalism? I mean journalism. Why is Professor Kaikari supporting this kind of horrendous journalism? And this Professor Kaikari, this is the Venerable Adom-Otchere, and we're going to deal with it. Okay, so let's get back to the story. Give me the 3 photographs and let's start. What is the story about? So, Adom-Otchere is a big arbiter in media because he's very famous, very distinguished, and he's done it. All of us learned from him. I don't think there's any journalist in Ghana who can say he didn't learn from Adom-Otchere. From the time he was at Ghana News Agency, when he wrote for Reuters, he did some work for CNN, he's done BBC forever. He was the eternal BBC's Focus on Africa Ghana correspondent for the longest time. He used to have an office at Asylum Down. I used to go and just sit and listen to him. In those days, I listened to Kofi Kumsi. Tonight, I'll tell you a few stories about that. Okay. So, Professor Kwame Kaikari set up the foundation for West African Media Foundation. Excellent idea. Now, Kwame Kaikari was one of those important people from the School of Communication Studies back in the day who sort of guided the media and who was passionate about the independence of the media. There's no doubt about that. If we come to speak the story about even the repeal of criminal libel, the independence of journalism, the strengthening of the Ghana Journalists Association, Kwame Kaikari has a major role to play in that. So that's Kwame Kaikari. He was recently the managing director of the Graphic, I believe. So that's what we know. His other colleague, Bona Kumsin, Professor Kaikari, their younger colleague is Professor Odrigajepo, their boss is Professor P.A.V. Ansan. We knew all of them. I didn't know P.A.V. Ansan. I have to be quick to say that. I was at his funeral when he died, but I never had met him. I read his articles in the Chronicle, and I bought his book, the one put together by his daughter, and he used to be called the Monday Morning Terror, so he was in the Chronicle all the time. Kwame Kaikari would have been a protege of P.A.V. Ansan. I believe P.A.V. Ansan must have influenced Adom-Otchere, taught him something like that at the School of Communication Studies where they all studied. Okay. So Kwame Kaikari's Media Foundation for West Africa. Now, since my friend Manasseh left Joy FM, he's joined the Media Foundation for West Africa also, or they have a newspaper called The Fourth Estate. The kinds of things they've been doing since the militia documentary have come up for discussion on this program, and some people have felt that as a journalist, you shouldn't talk about another journalist. We have a completely different opinion on that one, because it is important for us to discuss these matters, because it's nation building. We have been critical about the kind of work they do, as everybody knows. I meet people on the street and they beckon me to roll down my window and they say, hey, I catch you. And then we laugh and then I drive on. I meet them in shops and they say, I catch you. And that's the brand of journalism they do. Very little analysis. The paucity of the analysis that these people do is frightening for the kind of viewership or readership that they have. The paucity of the analysis is just frightening. Why can't they do any analysis? Why are they always quick to make somebody look bad? Last weekend, just the weekend past, we were celebrating the English Premier League when the FA Cup ended. Do you know that if you're a commentator in the English Premier League, I think it happened to Peter Drury recently, you cannot make a derogatory statement about a player. If you're a coach, even if it's true, truth is irrelevant to the conversation because they are building something. If you're a coach, you can't say something about the referee. You know Jose Mourinho is in trouble right now. Even if what the referee did is bad, you can't publicly say it because people are listening to you. The Premier League has made you a hero. So whatever you say is important towards nation building. Not for some of these people. They are very concerned about self-promotion. And the self-promotion they do, it is just so that they bring some important person that Manasseh has said before that many of Ghanaian businessmen are crooks. He doesn't talk about any other businessman in Ghana, whether you're Syrian, Lebanese, Italian. He doesn't talk about that. He talks about Ghanaian businessmen. Those who will build the Ghanaian economy for us, he calls them crooks. And there are occasions when other businessmen, we have all the stories. It's not that the stories that they get, we don't get it. We get those stories too. But we are minded, maybe because of our training, that this is an establishment that we have to protect. How did we first come to draw out on this matter? Militia documentary. He said President Akufo-Addo, as soon as he became president, has a militia at the castle. Assuming that it was totally false, as we now know. But assuming that this was true, and you are a journalist and this information has come to you, that President Akufo-Addo has a militia at the castle, that's very bad. You don't publish that for your self-promotion. You report that to the right people. I say, look, it looks like the old man has a militia at the castle. Look, we can't deal with this thing. That's bad. Tell him to stop. This is not good at all. Do you think we don't get... When did we get the John Mahama story? Very recently, 2-3 months ago. Somebody called us and said, John Mahama's daughter, Farida, has done XYZ. We should publish it. They thought that because I am critical of John Mahama sometimes, I would jump to the story. I said, no. A 15-year-old lady, I should talk about her on TV because her father is a politician. I will never do that. Never. So I looked at the story. I called somebody in the Mahama family. I'm sure some of you can guess who it is. And I said, Chief, Charlie, look at this thing. Oh. This is what somebody told us about your daughter. Please, deal with it. Why will I come on TV? Because being on TV here is a privilege. I'm just lucky to be here for people to listen to me. There are people who are watching me who are more intelligent than I am, who can do this story. I always tell people that my friend Xerox, those of you who know him, if he had decided to do media, a lot of the journalists will not be able to hold a torch to him because I know him. I know the kind of brain he has. I know how he has followed media from the time we were age 10. If Xerox decided to do political broadcasting today or sports broadcasting, but he's a banker. He's working in the bank. I know many other people, Kofi Bame and co. Azobi, if they had decided to do journalism, they are more intelligent than I am. They are some of those people who support my story. Now, my first documentary, who gave me a lot of plaudits, 2016, that is The Voices of Political Campaign. It was Xerox. He was sitting in Dubai and called me and said, Charlie, you can do a documentary like this. Put this together, add this, add that. I said, oh yeah, great. He gave me that idea. So there are a lot of people who are out there who are more intelligent than us. But we have a privilege to be here. And people are listening to us. Should we use that privilege to destroy and so that we are self-promoted? Is that what the privilege is for? To destroy, pull down, destroy, and then we become promoted. How does that solve problems? Which of the problems that Manasseh has addressed has been solved? He jailed Dr. Ali Gabas on LGBT issues. Where is the LGBT matter today? It's grown. We are in parliament now battling it. But he went to jail Ali Gabas and became promoted. He's Manasseh, he's jailed Ali Gabas. You go and sit in front of somebody, give him a microphone. That kind of journalism that Professor Kaikari supports, I can't understand it. It is zero on analysis, zero on intellectualism. It's just self-promotion and hatred. That's what they do. That's all they are doing. Every story they bring out about that. Now they have drawn Kweku Sechiado, who is minding his business and solving problems somewhere, it takes a long time for Kweku Sechiado to be critical of another journal. It takes so long. And even the way Kweku Sechiado wrote it, you should see it. He's telling Manasseh that from what you yourself wrote, if you had read it, well, I don't understand it. If you had read what you yourself wrote, you wouldn't have come to the conclusion that Akufo-Addo is lying. But because of self-hatred and self-promotion, he runs. Akufo-Addo is lying. There's been cholera outbreak. He's saying there's no... He didn't even check. We will show you the Webster's Dictionary of outbreak. If only he had done just that, even a 13-year-old can check. Okay, we have a story. Cholera outbreak. You should come here. That's why sometimes I show you the behind the scenes. How much we do the check of the story we are going to publish. How much we do it. And we don't come here to come and destroy people. And, sometimes in societies, people like that. When Professor Mills was president, okay, and people will refer to President Kufuor as President Kufuor. Hey, say former president, he's not president, he's former president. Today, I am often critical of President Mahama, but I call him President Mahama. It's not about John Dramani Mahama. It's about the office of the President of Ghana. So however critical I am about President Mahama, I still say President Mahama. And people say, you go and stand there and you say, MPP people, you are a president. He's former president. I say, no. Akufo-Addo will be President Akufo-Addo for a long time. President Clinton is President Clinton forever. Secretary Clinton, his wife, State Secretary of State, Senator McCain. You are building a country. It's not, if President Mahama walks into this room right now, we will all stand up. And when he sits down and says, Paulus, I want to watch your show, I'll put his photograph there and say, but President Mahama didn't say it well. If he's here, I'll say it. But I will still refer to him as President Mahama. I say President Mahama is criticizing President Akufo-Addo. Then they say former president. What's the point? What is the point? So this is our job. is to draw attention to things, is to have exposure with people. You would get some benefit out of it, but it is not to destroy so that you are raised. You go and show a video of the guy who has been negotiating for Ghana for 3 years in International Finance Corporation, in bonds, in bond issues, in London, in everywhere in the world. Charles Dubois has been negotiating for Ghana. Great guy, great background. And then you show him collecting $40,000, and then you hero yourself and bring him down. Who are you bringing down? You are bringing down Ghana. Is that the work you should be doing? When you do any work, don't you ask yourself, am I bringing down Ghana? Why have I become what I've become? It's a privilege because the Ghanaian society has accepted me and they are listening to me. Should I use that to bring down Ghana? That's what he does. Self-promotion. To pull down something. I'm going to show them that. So once they get the pension for that, once they achieve the pension for that kind of self-promotion, they lose their head. They can't analyze anything. So they say there's Akufo-Addo goes and everything Akufo-Addo says, they have to say he is lying. I can't even understand it. That's so disgraceful, Manasseh. It is very disgraceful. Everything Akufo-Addo says, he's lying. They don't even check it. They don't check. We have a story about NDC, Asawase. We're not going to use it today. We're checking it. Did I say Asawase? The one coming, Asen North. We are checking it. We are not I'm never in a hurry to go and say Adom-Otchere has done something. Yes, I like to say Adom-Otchere has done something wrong. I like to say that. And I say that all the time. If he has done something wrong. But when they bring me something wrong, they think Adom-Otchere has done. I look at it. And I call people. I can call anyone,